He's in the movie for like 4 or 5 scenes, all of that, and he's got the best line in the entire film.
Yep.
Where he's like, well, I guess I don't have to worry. The best thing about your mom passing away is that I never have to go to church again. And it's like, I shouldn't be laughing at that.
Yep.
Hi, this is Randall here from No Market Media.
And I'm Matt. Today, Randall and I are reviewing a movie that we both put as a movie that we wanted to see in 2021, but didn't get an opportunity to. Today, we're going to review The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It stars Jessica Chastain, Andrew Garfield, and Cherry Jones. It's directed by Michael Showalter. He also directed The Big Sick and co-created Search Party and Wet Hot American Summer. Now, before we go any further, if you like this review, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications on our latest videos.
The Eyes of Tammy Faye is based on the previously already made documentary of the same name about televangelist Tammy Faye Bakker and her husband Jim Bakker. It has received mixed or average reviews from critics, but mostly positive reviews from audiences. It was nominated for several awards, including Jessica Chastain getting a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Drama. Now, Matt, this has been something that we both wanted to watch. We had it on our schedule, and then it dropped off for some reason that escapes both of us. What'd you think?
So this movie, I guess, was okay. There was some scenes that I liked or whatever, and part of the performances I thought were pretty good or whatever. But yeah, just an okay movie for me.
It's interesting you should say part of the performances. So for me, the thing that really stood out was in the first half of this is well overacted by both of them, by both Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain. I felt like, wow, they're overdoing it. They're way too into like character zone instead of just trying to portray these people, these real life people, And I felt that was a little off-putting and made the characters not seem very likable to me. And that will be important later when we talk about characters and stuff. But I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm like, this did not have the impact that I was expecting. Like, it's about a very well-known, drama-filled, like life of these two people. And I didn't feel like there was all that much drama.
Yeah, it's a little bit different stuff, too. I'll have to say, I didn't know a whole lot about Tammy Faye and Jim Bakker. I knew of, like, the Jim and Tammy Faye show and stuff. But other than that, I didn't know all of, like, the different workings and stuff, too. So, for me, kind of watching this as a movie, it's kind of hard to say, like, well, all right, how much is this is just for entertainment, and how much of this is actually based on, I wouldn't say fact, but perspective, I guess I would say.
That's called a segue. We're going to talk about the plot next. See what he did there? Well, for those in the audience who have no idea what this is, it's based on true events, and based honestly on a documentary of those true events. These two met in college, which is real. They did meet in college, and they got married very young, and then went on to basically create a Christian television network, basically, and wanted to make a whole slew of things. Which was at the time against a lot of the way that other Christian broadcasters were presenting, Christianity to their audiences and their parishioners and stuff like that. And then everything kind of goes sideways. Like, she doesn't really have an affair, but kind of like falling out of love with her husband, but her husband absolutely did pay someone hush money for his affair. And like, that's real stuff. So like, this plot follows these characters through a long amount of time, like from like 1950s all the way to basically the 1994-95-ish area. Just telling the actual real life story in a, much more movie way than in real life.
Yeah, well, I think that's a big thing too. I think a lot of it is, like I said, it's the movie way, and of course we'll get on a lot of this with like character stuff too. I think especially like the first part of the movie was like really played up and stuff. As I don't know like how much like not necessarily like true or whatever, but like hey, kind of like characters or whatever of a movie or whatever. So yeah,
I found the first part of the movie and the way the plot moved along like super quick. We have to hurry up and we have to get to the juicy stuff, basically the drama, the money, and the downfall of her husband and Heritage USA and stuff like that. But then when we finally get to that part of the story, I'm like, well, they didn't make me care enough about the characters, and they didn't bring me enough into the world of like the money and the politics of the situation. So I'm like, I just don't care, what's going on. I knew more about it going in than anyone could have possibly learned by watching the movie.
Yeah. yeah, I agree with that too. And I had to do a lot of like looking into different things afterwards too. I mean, this movie is like the Eyes of Tammy Faye, so Tammy Faye is really like kind of like the focal of this movie. And other people are like kind of like secondary characters. Even Jim Baker, I would say, is kind of like a secondary character to Tammy and stuff too. But also, other story elements and looking at, we're looking at, I mean, they're televangelists, so they also are trying to, try to make it, I guess, continuing issues or whatever going on, whether it's when they're on TV or like now trying to look at like, religion and like politics and how the two kind of cross over, entwine, or try to influence each other kind of thing.
Liberal agenda, feminist agenda, homosexual agenda. It's time for a reversal of these trends.
So that's other parts of, that they're trying to sell in like the story.
Well, yeah, the story kicks off real early with like a visit to Pat Robinson's house, who's still today a well-known, voice in the Christian television network. And it's like, oh, we help pay for all of this because we work for the Christian Broadcasting Network or whatever it is. And, this house is opulent and everything.
Yep.
We want that.
Yep.
Tammy and Jim, they say, we want that.
Yep.
That's what pushes them to do all these things that they do. And it's just, they could have dived into that more. They could have made the audience really feel it more than just telling the audience, oh yeah, we want that.
It's interesting, not only like Pat Robertson or whatever still doing it, like Jim Baker's actually still doing, TV work and stuff as well too with this new network. So
he is, and his new wife.
Yep, his new wife. Yep. All right, so we have our characters, and to me, like as we're talking about, I like parts of the characters or whatever. I was kind of hinting a lot this earlier too. I didn't really like our characters at the beginning as much because I think they were more, I don't know, characters or whatever. It's really hard to do, I guess, movies and stuff about real people sometimes, and when your performances, you're trying not to be like direct, like like mimic or what I'm saying, like impersonations, I guess. And to me, it's kind of like, I think we know more of like Tammy Faye and Jim when they were popular in TV, so it's hard to really know as much as what they were when they were younger before they did that. And to me, that really like kind of came off as like, yeah, these don't feel to me like really like general like college like real people kind of thing. These are definitely characters. But I feel as it went on, I think they got to settle into these characters a bit more and stuff, and they started to feel a bit more real. I would say as the movie went on.
I agree. But I also point out something. Well, one, there are two characters that I think are interesting. Cherry's in this. You said that, and that she plays Tammy Faye's mom. And I love that character, that like character actress, mostly because of Signs. I was like, oh, that's the woman from Signs. One of those actresses, or like I don't remember her name. It doesn't matter. I love her performances. Basically. And she's always there trying to tell Tammy, like, this is not the way. This is not the, like, God doesn't care about the money. God doesn't, you shouldn't be asking people for money. You shouldn't, you're getting rich off of your parishioners, which is not the right way of doing things.
Oh, Tammy Faye, you follow blindly. In the end, all you are is blind.
always trying to like turn her around. So I really liked that character. And her stepdad is awesome. He's in the movie for like 4 or 5 scenes, all of that. And he's got the best line in the entire film.
Yep.
Where he's like, well, I guess I don't have to worry. You know, the best thing about your mom passing away is that I never have to go to church again. And it's like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing at that.
Yep.
The best line in the whole movie.
Yeah, it is.
But Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye, that's a letdown for me.
Really?
I think she does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the script does a good job.
Gotcha.
She does what she can do with the script.
Mm-hmm.
And her performance is fine. But the character, the way it's written, it's like, oh, she didn't know any of this stuff was going on. And I'm like, give me a break. You didn't know any of this stuff was going on.
No, she knew all the stuff that was
She
going
did
on.
know, like, and that's documented in the real life. She knew about a lot of this stuff, but the movie plays it off because it's from her perspective.
Yeah.
Of, oh, whatever Jim's doing, and whatever, that's not on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just Tammy, good old Tammy.
What I like about this too, about her performance, she actually does the singing in this movie. Jessica Chastain does, or whatever. So when we have, because Tammy Faye did records and stuff too. She did music, and so when it's not like we have like a voice track or another, like it actually is Jessica Chastain's singing in a lot of these stuff.
People don't give up. You're on the brink of a miracle.
So I like that. But I think I did like Jessica Chastain's performances a little bit later and stuff. But like you said, the script a little bit kind of I think let her down a little bit. And going on like her mom, I think that is like a good character to really help center her character. I mean, that's where we really get what drives Tammy Faye, or what kind of help shape this character Tammy Faye.
I wish she had listened more to her mom. I don't know how true to life like the mom character is, in all honesty, but I do, I do hope that someone was like there trying to dissuade them, because I felt this was like the characters, and this is a good thing, honestly. I felt so dirty, like, oh man, if you could just go on TV and cry, like Jim Baker knows when to turn the tears on.
Yeah.
You just need to say it on TV so that the people can see it, so we can raise more money.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I feel dirty,
Yep.
And I hope that someone in real life was there to like say that's wrong,
Yep.
Didn't do anything, obviously.
That's the thing too. Like, I feel like one of the things I liked about this movie is like Tammy's bits when she was on TV. It didn't seem like she was doing that really to like raise the money and stuff. She was trying to use like TV to have that relationships and like bring people in that a lot of people shun and stuff too. And Tammy's like, no, they're people and they deserve to be treated like people, kind of thing.
And it would have been great to be a fly on the wall to know if Tammy Faye in like whatever the 1970s actually told Pat Robertson like, who cares if they're gay, like like
I don't think of them as homosexuals. I just think of them as other human beings that I love. We're all just people made out of the same old dirt.
I don't know if that actually happened. I hope it did.
Yep.
I think that'd be hilarious. So it's a biological, drama. I don't think it does a great job. I just don't. Like, I think there are better ones out there to watch. I mean, I think you can go watch Walk the Line. It does a better job. The acting's better. The script is better. Like, it's more, and I don't want to say satire, because it's not satire, but it's more off-putting than making me feel anything for these characters, even their real life counterparts, and it just didn't hit the spot for me.
Yeah, for me, same thing, biographical drama and stuff or whatever, kind of watching it, it's kind of like, I said at the beginning, like, it doesn't really feel like real people. So in that aspect, it's kind of hard for me. Like, I know these people exist, but at the same time, too, like, watching a screen, it's hard ever, like, watching this movie and actually thinking, like, hey, this stuff actually happened. It's like a movie based on actual events, but doesn't actually really feel like, hey, it's based on real people. But it's basically trying to take real events and try to, I don't know, shine a light on like issues and, you know, other things going on with these people.
Into those real events more than it did.
Yes, it could have. I agree. And it's kind of interesting, some of the research I was doing afterwards, like some of the things we played out, I was in the movie, I'm like, well, did that really play out? Or, you know, what perspective we were taking on? And I was watching some interviews with Jim and Tammy Faye's son, and he was basically giving a perspective of, like, you know, what happened. What does he think, like, his father's, like, real motivations and stuff were at the time? Like, do you think your dad was really just trying to swindle people out of money or whatever?
It wasn't so much that he was in love with the riches as much as he just wanted to create bigger and bigger and bigger stuff, and so he compromised his message to raise money to make the church bigger.
He wants to do the next thing. That was all about it. Like, bigger, go bigger, go bigger, go bigger. And he just kept getting into debt with it.
And I guess as a biographical movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It doesn't need to talk about those situations, but I wish it did more.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have benefited from it,
Yep.
in my opinion. Instead of just strictly talking about these characters, and again, not genuinely feeling very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, throw some real world stuff in there, real world historical stuff, and not just in the pre-roll and the end roll, you know, with like the newspaper clippings.
Yep.
Like you textbook showed instead of, you know, or telling us instead of showing us what was going on. I wish they would have done more, like lean into that stuff. Like, hey, they touch on it. I'm building so much in his name is what Jim says.
Yep.
But like, all right, now let's really talk about the money.
Yeah.
Talk about it, not just like, hey, it's on, you know. It could have went deeper. I'm sorry.
I kind of wish I wasn't a big fan as much of the movie jumping forward really at the end, and how we get, you know, Tammy Faye and Jim are like divorced, and like she's like meeting him in prison and stuff. And I don't know. To me, I didn't like the transition as much. We kind of went from like, hey, you know, the scandal happened, and now let's jump forward as much to kind of like wrap this up.
Scandal's done.
Scandal's done. Yeah.
Scandal's
Yeah.
Done.
So one of the things I didn't see coming, you always hear kind of like the play up, like, oh, you know, play it up for the camera and different stuff too. But I really didn't see coming like how things, like at least how this movie portrays, how personal life stuff was just used to try to bring in, you know, people to like donate money or whatever in this movie. Like, you know, from, you know, the birth of like the child, like of their son kind of thing, how it's just like, oh yeah, Jim, I just, you know, just announced it, you know, on TV kind of stuff. And then especially, you know, I think a big scene, you know, when the Tammy Faye is basically on television talking about how she was unfaithful or whatever in it. Like that I did not see coming. I didn't see that kind of stuff, you know, showing out. I was almost kind of thinking like, you know what, maybe they were kind of like taking advantage of other people's situations to like get, but I was really surprised at how much of their like personal life that they used to try to like bring in money. But I don't know, maybe that it shows like thing on some, you know, YouTube culture we got now. Or
honestly,
whatever.
it really happened. That's what's. I mean, those things happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
Which is just creepy in my mind to
Yep.
think about. Yeah. For me, I guess the thing I didn't see coming was feeling so uncomfortable. I just did. I mean, I couldn't imagine going on. I have trouble just asking people for like money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I don't want, you know, I'm trying to go on TV and to beg, and like, I felt uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine this happens all the time still today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like it's not like it's gone away or anything.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, that just it felt sleazy, and I didn't expect to be watching this movie and just think to myself, oh wow, that really for some reason makes me feel just as sleazy watching it as like, how could anyone actually do that? Even if you think you're doing it for good reasons, it's like, come on, you're better. Didn't something go off in your head like, ding dong, no, there's there's got to be a better way, a right way of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't see how completely, put aback by it I was gonna be. So as a movie that I wanted to watch, like I wish I had seen it in theaters and stuff. Like I'm okay, I'm good. I didn't see it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if you're a big Tammy Faye and Jim Baker, like if you know a lot about it, if you grew up when the scandal was happening, that you're gonna really learn anything. This doesn't do anything new or completely different than what you probably already know. And if you don't know anything going in, you're not gonna learn a ton. You're gonna learn a little bit about it, but not a ton. So kind of disappointing for me.
Yeah, to me, it was okay movie kind of thing. I didn't know a whole lot about it going in, just a little bit, and I don't know that I know a whole lot. I don't feel like really rejuvenated or knowledgeable or anything even coming out of this movie kind of thing.
But to understand it, you had to go look stuff up.
Yeah, I had to go look stuff up to really get some more backs and all right, how much is this is just a movie and how much is this is actually based on real life stuff kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, and so if you're looking at it, it's kind of like entertainment. I mean, this movie had scenes I think that were entertaining, but as a movie as a whole, I don't know that I was really wrapped up into this film. Just maybe a little bit at the end where we do get some heartfelt moments or you actually feel, some real connection kind of thing. But I think, a lot of those I think were a little bit too far in between.
It's no Miss Sloan.
It's no.
Another Jessica Chastain.
Yep.
But of course, we want to know what you guys think. Did you get a chance to go see this Eyes of Tammy Faye when it was in theaters, or have you seen it since? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. We have other new movie reviews, some flashback movie reviews, talk about some TV series, and some deeper dive discussions as well. Go check those out on our YouTube page.
We also have a Facebook page. Be sure to check us out there. We post some things from our fandoms. We also post a day before our videos come out to let you know what the topic of that video is going to be. If you don't have a Facebook page, don't worry about it. Just check us out on YouTube. Our videos come out every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Matt with No Market Media. Have a good day, everyone.
And I'm Randall. See everyone next time.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.